Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Parite parite parasabarilo jane gati habe mani parite parite parasabarilo jane gati habe mani se asha vipalla se jnana daballa se asha vipalla se jnana daballa se jnana ajnana se jnana ajnana play cartoon.
Hare Krishna, mijn naam is Anupam Krishna. Ik ben een monnik in het Hare Krishna klooster. En vandaag zijn we samengekomen in de studio van Kleurnet. En ik heb vandaag het genoegen om u te mogen introduceren. Mahavishnu Swami uit Nepal, India.
Ja.
En hij is oorspronkelijk uit Engeland. En in 1945 geboren. Maar in 1971 is hij naar India vertrokken. Daar heeft hij Srila Prabhupada, dat is de schrijver van deze boek en ook de stichter van onze beweging, heeft hij ontmoet. In 1976 nam hij initiatie. En sindsdien heeft hij zijn basis gemaakt in India, Nepal. Hij predikt ook veel in Bangladesh. En vandaag is hij naar Nederland gekomen om fondsen te werven voor zijn projecten. En hij wilde vandaag u iets vertellen over de westerse beschaving en de oosterse beschaving. Daarvoor heeft hij een vergelijking gemaakt van de lammen en de blinden en de lammen. Van de blinden en de lammen. En zoals gebruikelijk bij ons hebben wij, u kent het wel, Hare Krishna's hebben altijd kleitekens op hun voorhoofd. Maar onze leiders, de swamis, die dragen ook een staf. Een toverstaf, kan je wel zeggen. En daarmee reizen ze rond. We kennen het ook wel van de christelijke kerk met zo'n krulletje daaraan. Maar onze monniken staan bekend om hun soberheid. Mahavishnu Swami spreekt alleen Engels, dus het hele programma zal in Engels zijn. Ik geef nu het woord over aan Mahavishnu Swami. That's up to you.
Thank you, Anupam. Yes, the theme of my talk today is the lame and the blind. I'm for the last 23 years I'm living in the third world countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, India as a missionary for the Hare Krishna movement. And this comparison that the East is like the lame man and the West is like a blind man is becoming very apparent to me. It's becoming very real to me as I travel the world, America, Europe, Russia, Japan, so many places, South America, and I see the different cultural developments all over the world. I can see that the Western countries are very developed in technology, economics, just like the blind man with good legs. I think that we're going to see a picture of this, a very graphic picture will be shown on the TV, of the Western culture personified. Very strong legs, but blind. He has a stick, a working stick, white stick. We have so many motorways and cars and gadgets, TVs and so on. But where we're going, we're not quite sure. We don't have that vision. We have some vague idea, which the modern scientists tell us, that this is the purpose of life, that we have to conquer the universe. One day we will become immortal. Man has come from monkey. Universe has come from a big bang. But we're not quite sure the purpose of our life, except we're very good at eating, we're very good at enjoying this world, intoxication, meat eating. Modern civilization in the West is very much to do with these bodily activities. Janamiya anicca samsare moha janamiya anicca samsare moha janamiya anicca samsare moha janamiya anicca samsare jiva ke khare azad Jiva ke Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. But the East, I've seen, is very, you can say, it's very contrary. In the East there's very undeveloped situation, not good roads, not good transport, not good facilities like TVs, electricity, and so on, poor telephone system. But to compensate for that, for the bad legs, the lame legs, there are some good eyes in the East. Eastern culture has good eyes. Therefore the Eastern civilization is personified as a lame man with good eyes. You'll see in the picture, the lame man with good eyes. So our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, would often give this example. Prabhupada was born in Bengal, in Calcutta. He would often give this example. And he would say that if the blind man with good legs, the Western countries, would carry the lame man with good eyes, then there would be good progress for humanity. You see, there's a fusion of cultures. The Eastern culture has what we call spiritual knowledge, especially from the Vedas, about the ultimate goal of life, the purpose of life, spiritual knowledge, or vision. It has a vision beyond this temporary world of birth and death. But no legs. So if there's cooperation between the two, the idea is that humanity can make good progress. So this is the theme which Prabhupada mentioned many and conversations, that our Hare Krishna movement has a very positive contribution to the Western countries, because sometimes people think, oh, the Hare Krishnas, it's Indian, it's rather strange, we have our robes, a haircut, sometimes we dance in the street. In the Western countries people laugh, and they're not sure what is our contribution. Are we a useful member of society? What value do we have? Or are we just a bunch of escapists, or people who've taken too many drugs, and or is it just another kind of drug, this Hare Krishna? what's it all based on? The Westerner may ask. You see. So I'm trying to talk today to try and focus people's ideas a little bit on what is the purpose of all this Eastern paraphernalia, my stick, my everything. We look Indian. But actually, this is not a nationalistic thing. And this is not actually a religious thing. It's a cultural thing. This is a culture not technologically advanced in terms of material advancement, but technologically advanced in terms of spiritual advancement. This is very interesting. You see, technology can be of two kinds. It can be material or spiritual. So today you will see in front of me this array of books, wonderful books, colorful array of books, and these are the spiritual technological textbooks for the Eastern culture. Yeah. Wherever you go in India or the Indian subcontinent, or even in Malaysia, Burma, Indonesia, in that part of the world, you'll realize that there's more to people's life than meets the eye. Yeah, it's a fact. You may see a farmer working in his field. He has a house, he has a field. And he's plowing the land with his bulls. And he's wearing simple cloth. And he, to all intents and purposes, he has nothing. But if you speak to that farmer, you'll find he has a lot more than a man. He may have his car, his TV, his big house. He may have his business. Why does the farmer have more, the simple farmer, uneducated farmer? Because actually he has spiritual knowledge of the purpose of his life, what he is, what is this universe, what will happen to him after he leaves this body. You see, this is something that the so-called educated man in the West, he doesn't have so easily. So this is going to be shown in this song. Today we're going to sing a song for you, a very interesting song. It was written about 100 years ago by a great saint in India who was influenced by the Western culture for some time in his life. So this is the song. I'm going to run through the meaning of this song and talk a bit about these books also, and then we're going to sing this song. So this is a little program for you. So this song is called Vijari Vilase. This means the pastimes of education, pastimes of mundane education, material education, nothing to do with the soul or God, but just like technological education, which you might learn at university or college in the West. Many of people watching this program, they may be going to polytechnics or universities. They're studying chemistry, physics, maths, literature, psychology, so many subjects there are. So this is what the subject matter of this song. It's a very interesting song. Vijara vilase kataino kala parama sahaseyami. With great confidence I pass the time in the pleasures of mundane learning. Yes, I was passing my exams, going to university, college, and so on. But Tomara charana nabajinu kabu ekona sharana tumi. This is called Bengali language. Very sweet actually to sing. I never worshipped your lotus feet, O Lord, but now you are my only shelter. So this is giving an indication of the danger of mundane knowledge, is that when we get caught up in material education, we forget the real basics of our existence. What am I? What is the purpose behind this universe? And so on and so forth. So we're going to the next verse. Parite, parite, barasa barilo, gyane gati habe mani. Reading on and on, my hope grew, for I considered material knowledge to be life's true path. So isn't this our common experience here in the West, and also now coming in the East, as the Western culture spreads to the East? If we pass our degrees and examinations, then we will find real happiness. This will be our true path. If we read more books, study more, pass more exams, we will be happy. Segada hoye samsara bodha bahilo anekapa. Madake ekona shaktira abave. Madake ekona shaktira abave. Pucho nahi tumhe bhave. Pucho nahi bhage. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jivana jatana hoilo ekana sevija abhijabe. But what happened? Se asha bifal, se jnana dubal, se jnana agyana jani. That hope that I would be happy, was fruitless. I never became happy. That knowledge proved feeble. Yes, even if I know, if I think that Darwin's theory is true, man has come from monkey, does that answer the question, who am I? Where have I come from? Where am I going? Why am I suffering? It doesn't answer, this knowledge doesn't answer these questions, these theories. It doesn't satisfy me. Say jnana agyana jani. I know now that all such knowledge is ignorance. Bhaktivinoda is using strong words. He's saying that this mundane knowledge I learned at school and college, and personally I studied in England. I went to university in England. But after going to university, what did I know? I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know who I was and the purpose of my birth. I didn't know. I was confused. Like many people today, even today. Verse 3. Jada vidya jato mayara vaibhava tomara bhajane bhada. All mundane knowledge is but the power of the Lord's illusory energy, maya, and an impediment to your service. So this is very interesting. This is a reference to a verse from Bhagavad Gita. This book, Bhagavad Gita, is one of the main books of spiritual knowledge in the Eastern cultures. Any person in the East, whether Hindu or Muslim, will have heard of Bhagavad Gita, or the Song of God. It was written in Sanskrit 5,000 years ago, and it's a basic handbook of spiritual knowledge. And in this Bhagavad Gita, different topics are discussed very clearly. In this Bhagavad Gita, 5 topics are discussed. Nature, material nature, the Supreme Lord, the origin of material nature, the living being, his activities and time, and how they interact in different ways. So this verse of Bhagavad Gita says that 4 kinds of persons, they are illusioned. But particularly it refers to Maya Parita Jnana, those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. They do not understand spiritual knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita is a wonderful textbook. It talks basically how we are forgetful of our eternal nature, our spirit soul. Right at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, it distinguishes between myself and my body. This is very nice. We are lamenting for so many things. Our family, our nation, Y2K, the future, the economy. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, who speaks Bhagavad Gita, he says that this is not worth worrying about. This is all the bodily concept of life. You should be concerned with your real self. The real self is like a passenger in the chariot of the body. The body is like a chariot, and the mind is like the ropes controlling the horses, and the intelligence is like the driver of the chariot, and the soul, the antimaterial particle, the person who can never die, he's actually the passenger in the chariot. This is the basis of the Eastern culture.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
The basic book of Eastern knowledge is called Bhagavad Gita, and by learning the essence of Bhagavad Gita, then we can go on to these other books of transcendental knowledge. They teach the function of a living being. Okay, we're not this body, we're changing these bodies lifetime after lifetime. This is called reincarnation. You've got the idea. And there's a law of karma, whereby we change our body. Sometimes we go up to heavenly planets, higher planets. Sometimes we go down to lower species, animal species, fish, birds, insects, and so on. So how should we live in this human form of life? What should we do so that we can utilize spiritual technology and get rid of this change of body problem? The governments of the world, they don't tell the people this knowledge, that the real problem of life is that you have to change this body. Isn't it? Nobody wants to grow old, nobody wants to die. But what is the Tory party, that these are political parties and leaders, what are they doing for the people about this? You see, they're not giving us this education, how to get out of this temporary world and find a permanent existence, where we don't have to change body. That would be the highest standard of living, wouldn't it? If you had to never grow old, you had to never die. So we should be trying to get that standard of living. Now these books of spiritual knowledge are teaching just that. How to act in this life in bhakti yoga, or what is called devotional service. How to act in relationship to the whole universe in a spiritual way, so that we don't get trapped again after this life and have to again take a birth. This is also a topic you'll find in Buddhism, and as I say, you'll find a little bit in Christianity also. And this is not a sectarian thing. We don't say we're Hindu and we're trying to change you to become Hindus. We don't come here to convert Christians into Hindus or anything like that. This is a science. This is a technology. Whether you're Hindu or Muslim or Christian, you can use this knowledge in this book, Srimad Bhagavatam. And this book was translated from the Sanskrit by my spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder of our society. Now, after this book, or at the same time, you can study this book. You can study this book. This is very interesting. The main topic of Srimad Bhagavatam is the nature of God. Now, this is where our Western countries are a little backward, even in our religious sense. With all due respect to religious leaders in the West, Christians and Muslims, etc., and Hindus, we talk about God, but it's a very vague idea. We don't know the form, the nature, the qualities, the pastimes, the planet of God, the Supreme Person. So these books are giving us information for the first time in English in the Western world, and here we have in Dutch for the first time these wonderful books of spiritual knowledge. They tell you what is God doing in the spiritual world and how you can qualify to enter into his relationship with him in different ways so that you'll be satisfied. After all, everyone's looking for a relationship of love with someone. Therefore we have children, we have husband, we have wife, we love our nation, and so on. But all these relationships are temporary, and therefore as spirit souls we're dissatisfied. It's a big psychological problem. But this Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us how, practically speaking, we can enter into a relationship with a Supreme Person who's unlimitedly beautiful, unlimitedly strong, unlimitedly knowledgeable, unlimitedly unselfish. What else? Unlimitedly knowledge, beauty, strength, famous. Anyway, God has so many opulences. He's omnipotent, all-powerful. So we call him Krishna. Krishna means the all-attractive person. And everyone can love him. You see, this is the idea. Governments can take advantage of this. How to make the people peaceful? Give them Krishna. Let them learn to love Krishna, and they'll be peaceful and satisfied. There'll be no more need for taking drugs, no more need for killing poor innocent animals, no more need for having so many sex shops and brothels and AIDS, and no more need for gambling. We can live simply like they do in the East and be satisfied with our relationship with Krishna.
Tomara charana vinakichudana samsarena ache ara. Tomara charana vinakichudana samsarana ache Bakati binat jaja ayatari Bakati binat jaja Tu apada kolesa